All right, so after months of planning and preparation, we have a functional bed in the back of our Prius that we're gonna be living in for how long?
1 year.
Oh my God.
Let's do it.
Hey team, welcome back to our second and final video of the build series. We are here amongst the flowers.
Yay!
Looking forward to wrapping things up.
So we took a bit of a day off, do some admin, and now we're gonna be heading into town to pick up the last few pieces that we need to kind of bring this whole build series together and make our car, there she is, road ready? No, road trip ready. Holy Hannah.
Holy smokes.
It's beautiful.
Wow.
I would expect nothing less.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So as you can tell, work has been done. All of these pieces have yet to be joined, which is probably going to be our job, I'm assuming. Yeah, not exactly your standard YouTube tutorial.
No, this is not just like chunks of plywood stapled together.
Well, you've outdone yourself, Dad. Okay, we've just received our instructions on how and what we are to do next, and now Leah has surprisingly left, and I'm gonna have to start off on my own.
So now we're gonna head out to try and get the right size screws to figure out the deck on the back, on the swing away, and we're also looking at carpet. What else are we looking at?
Water jugs,
Miscellaneous things that we knew we would have to buy, but figured we would do part of the build so we would know exactly what we needed.
So complicated. I don't know why we didn't just do this earlier.
Okay, so we have some water jug options here.
This says tap inside, so oh.
So mainly what we're looking for with these water jugs is for them to fit in the back of the car because we have a very limited, weirdly shaped space. So I'm thinking that this one might actually fit better, but
This one has a tap inside, but I don't understand.
the tap is a nice feature.
We got helped by many people in there. That was great.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we have successfully bought a bunch of stuff. You saw the bolts, but you didn't see our locks that we bought.
And the guy at the store convinced us that rather than a chain on the back, these kind of, what is this, braided steel is actually a lot harder to cut and hopefully will deter people from stealing our camp stuff.
We'll see if all this fits and works here in a minute. Okay, so something we talked about doing from the beginning is creating some natural headroom up here without having to build a whole extra addition to the deck. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna build like a little platform underneath the fridge and the battery bank on the other side so that they're flush with the sleeping deck. And that also creates more storage underneath for miscellaneous stuff like shoes and whatnot. As you can see, it is a pretty tight fit in here for the old refrigerator, but this will actually also help with cooling for the fridge, as these are the vents right here, and raising it up a little bit will give it a little bit more room so that it can keep itself cool, so that it can keep our food cool, I guess.
cutting boards to the right length and screwing them together. That's my level of project. I will take credit for
The baby decks.
The baby decks.
But it's not the size of the dick that matters. It's how you use it.
It's not about the size of your dick, it's what you do with it, mate.
Here we go. We now have a nice little box down there. We still have to screw it up to make sure it's solid. But now this runs basically flush with the top deck that we're gluing up right now. We have yet to test out how all of our stuff is gonna actually fit inside of the car. That is really the final test, and we're gonna get to that later in this video. But these boxes, I envisioned in my head, and seeing them in there, I think it's gonna make a huge difference. Okay, this is a moment of truth. Will
Yeah.
our water bucket fit?
I think so. I hope so. Okay.
Okay, decks are in. We got it.
Ah! Oh,
Uh-oh.
jeez. Look at that. Okay.
That's
hold on,
amazing.
hold on.
Close the door. Oh my God. Okay, so I have just finished last week's episode. Apparently, Leah has some stuff to show me that she's been doing in the shop.
And not just the sick outfit. Yeah.
Yeah, Leah has got the full inmate construction overalls on.
Loose.
Hey,
You'll never catch me.
she. What are you doing? Why are we running like?
Look what I did. I finished it. Well, first
Wow.
I used the saw and I cut this out. And then we tested it and the lock fits.
Okay.
And then I did a finish on this side, flipped it, finish on the other, in the hole, in there, sides.
Wow.
I know, it stinks, but,
Dang. That's
that.
awesome.
right?
So we have a Varathane coating on our deck, which will help it last a little longer in whatever weather we happen to encounter. And basically, I think we are at the point where all we gotta do is put everything together.
Yeah, I guess that means we just have to live in it now. and like use it. There's no more living at
Yeah.
your parents' place and making things. We're like, oh no, now we live in this car.
All right, so obviously we don't have the spectrum of skill sets required to do a car build like this, but fortunately you can learn some nifty skills for yourself using Skillshare, and they're a sponsor of today's video.
Skillshare is an online learning community with literally thousands of classes. So you can learn some really cool stuff from some very cool people.
Now there is actually a plethora of woodworking classes on Skillshare, which is really cool, but since I have not done any of those classes, I can only recommend the iPhone filmmaking course, which I think is a great way for people to get introduced to the world of filmmaking, which is something that I am a lot more familiar with.
Not everybody has a master carpenter as a father or has a fancy camera to make videos.
But fortunately, this course makes it really simple and breaks down how you can do filmmaking fun stuff with just the phone in your pocket. So if you are interested in checking any of that out and you want to support this channel, the first 1,000 people who go down to the link in the description will get a 1-month free Skillshare membership trial. Now, let's give you a tour of our new humble abode.
I'm hot now. Whew, I'm ready. I'm ready. Okay, so first thing, and the one that we did the most work on, just Levi and I, is building the deck here for our storage action packer on the back.
Yeah, to be clear, when we say action packer, we are not making up a fun name for this thing. This is what this is called. It is called an action packer for some reason.
And so now that's what it is called forever and always, the action packer.
A lot of you mentioned that our license plate would not be able to be visible from the back of the car with it in its current position. So we have mounted it to the back, and look, it works really, really well. And honestly, this thing is not going anywhere.
So we have a lock on here for some security, and it's nice that it's facing the car so it's not kind of readily visible to people. But for added security, we ended up getting this 6-foot, what is this, braided steel thing?
Cable, I guess.
But we had to get nifty. I had to cut out this notch in order for it to fit in there, as well as a circle on this side. So this comes up and through and then locks on the top. So someone would have to be pretty determined to, steal our travel yoga mat to get into here.
Now, obviously, we recognize that a braided cable is not going to stop somebody from, chainsawing into the box. If they
Chainsaw?
the point being, if somebody really wanted to get into this box, they still will be able to, but it's just a visual deterrent to, make it less appealing.
I'm pretty proud of cutting out that notch. As you can see, it's a bit wet. It literally poured last night. So we are happy to report everything in here is dry. Thank goodness.
Honestly, we were a little worried because it was coming down last night.
Oh yeah. We took advantage to have one more night sleeping in a bed and just heard whoosh.
So this is going to be where the bulk of our sort of cooking and other random miscellaneous stuff like our chairs is going to live. And as you can see, we even have a little bit of room still.
Yeah, what our hope is that our hiking boots, especially Levi's boots, are like massive, will fit somewhere into here.
So this board may look just sort of random, but it is actually designed to go underneath the action packer when it's fully extended like this, so that this whole operation isn't bending too much when it's fully extended.
We already have a decent amount of weight on the back of the car, so when this extended, we don't want it like all of this weight out here and to the side. So this little piece of wood is gonna help keep it all steady.
Now for probably the more exciting and innovative part of the build, we have our completed sleeping deck with storage pockets, which we didn't have on here before, but these little pockets are gonna be where we put like Leah's glasses, our sleeping masks, and maybe a book or something.
Levi's dad built one, and then I built the other one, so I'm feeling very proud. They're sanded and beautiful. Oh, this is the one that I made, so there's imperfections, but the other one's great.
So inside right now we just have some towels and blankets, but this will be where all of our clothes live, and every single day we'll be able to open this up and get access to it.
Show how it fully goes back.
Oh yeah, and it goes fully back like that. Look at that.
So on this side you see Levi also gets a pocket with his eye mask and his book. And what Levi made, I'm very impressed by, is these little stands that go under the fridge and our battery bank. So it just elevates this so it's a flat sleeping surface, and that's shoe storage underneath. Amazing.
So another upgrade that fortunately works is this water jug, which somehow slots perfectly in between our battery bank and our 12-volt fridge, which is massive because up until this, we didn't really have any water solutions, and we weren't sure what we were gonna do, so this came in clutch. We also have what is going to be a fruit basket of some sort. Our fresh random vegetables and fruits will go in here. And hopefully they don't rattle around too much.
That's my idea. Levi isn't fully sold on it yet, but I think like onions, garlic, maybe some fruit on top. It's gonna look very cute.
Hopefully.
You sound so certain.
And up here, I think some of you might have noticed, but we have this hammock thing in which we put our solar light from Lucci. And this thing just lights up like this, and we put it up here, and the light shines down so that we can read at night. We slept in the car last night, actually, and it works really well. We actually had a pretty good sleep.
It was. The other really cool thing we were able to repurpose, and you can see it more here on Levi's side, is we have his grandmother's old yoga mat, which was exactly the right width, and then we just cut it to go underneath here, because we have cables and things we just don't want to mess around with. And the excess we put under here because there's all of these little bits and bobs we didn't want to, have stuff fall into. So here, and then our back carpeting goes over it.
So we did sleep in the Prius last night and learned yet another thing.
So we had thought that we were gonna have our heads at the front of the car, and that meant that Levi's pillow was sitting on top of the fridge. Okay, all good. This wood deck is a bit hard on your shoulders and your hips, and Levi is very tall. So what we figured out was if we put our heads at this end, at the back of the car, now your head is actually like on something solid, and it's just your feet that are on top of the fridge.
Yeah, and I can actually tuck my little feetsies off the back of the fridge, and there's like a little gap for them.
Oh, when you say little feetsies, they're not. They're massive. So we are actually heading out on the road tomorrow and are starting living full-time out of this Prius.
But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and if you like what you're seeing, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye!
This is the official Guy Hildebrand review of
Inspection.
inspection.
When should I look? Oh, wow. Impressive.
Who built it?
No, that's pretty beautiful.
Open it up.
Right? Yeah, open
Does it work? What? Look at that.
Isn't that amazing?
Wow, that is very good, you guys. Is it done now?
we did the big part.
Oh, very good. Very good. Well done. Good job.